Loaded. Getting diesel. Last time I drove this thing, we were racing the sled bull. It's a good truck. So anyways, it's 7 o'clock. Gonna get some ice. Head for Sebring. Well, we made it. It's 8:38. We'll go get this sucker set up. Winterfest, baby. All right. I start every video with all right. Anyways, car's here, tent set up. 9:20, first session. So we're gonna go get fuel. We're gonna fill her to the top. We'll set our tire pressure. We'll make sure the wheels torqued. We'll check the oil. Hopefully when we go through tech, we'll weigh her full, so we'll know what we weigh. So this is our goal, kind of our run plan, right? Nothing falls off. I left a lot of space to type, to write about what comes loose. How does it drive? And then temps, and then stuff I want to get in the morning and get on the car. But, so it's Thursday night. Shout out Liquid Molly. On to our speed shops here with all the specky 90s. We'll run it tomorrow, we'll see what's up. Hey, we're back. It drives pretty good. It's gonna take some fine tuning. Power steering pump leaking, which is kind of unfortunate. So, gotta see what we can do about that. In case you're wondering, you're not supposed to be able to do that, or that, or that. So luckily I felt that before the wheel fell off. Come to amateur hour. I didn't check this wheel before I left. It about fell off at the end. Our spa valve cover is puking oil, which is cool. And our power steering pump's still leaking. We can run with that. That's starting to give me a misfire, but it's getting there. It sounds ridiculous. All right, so Petey Pablo's got our spa valve cover on the table because it's still leaking. So the plan is we just cleaned it. He just cleaned it. We're gonna glue it in because we can't seem to, what do we think, Pete? It doesn't sit deep enough in it?
How old did you say you were?
What?
I said, how old did you say you were?
Today? Oh, Jesus Christ. It doesn't sit in there deep enough. Like, it doesn't go down enough. But it's leaking in the number 5 hole. So we're gonna get that cleaned up. But also I'm gonna shout out Liquid Molly because you can see where this is starting to clean all the varnish off of this junkyard motor. So looking pretty good. Still got a massive power steering leak, but we're gonna keep running it. We're just checking stuff. So far so good. Okay, situation report. Pete is peeling off the RTV he put on earlier today because it is no good. Now I did Pete real dirty and didn't realize I brought the best RTV made, the Honda Bond stuff. So now he's got to scrape all this shitty RTV off. So the valve cover's off again. The power steering pump was leaking like I showed you all earlier. Well, it finally spit the belt off of there. So new one's on there from CarQuest. There's a race going on. So there's the old one. It looks fine. So we're fixing this up. I even got kitty litter because I'm not an asshole. And we'll clean all this up. But, so, otherwise, pretty successful test day. Alright, so pretty happy with how today went. This is our end of day report. Got the power steering pump on there, changed the belt. Still, hopefully this valve cover seal will be better. The RTV we used probably was too old, so we used some Honda Bond. We're filled with gas, we're torqued. I got 600-pound front springs on it, and it really is probably too much shock, so we had them full stiff, so we backed them off 15 clicks. We measured our track width. We are a lot wider in the rear. So today is Friday night, so we have a couple sessions tomorrow. We'll play around with narrowing it up to see what it does for handling, but one thing at a time. The other thing I'm interested in is the power steering pump I put on has like a pressure relief valve and the big banjo bolt. Because the steering did feel, I don't want to say weird. It felt weird with the other pump, which didn't have it. But I ordered that pump for I think they're both for an 04 1.8 turbo, but they obviously look different because, you know, they're all remans now at this point. So hopefully that don't leak. But not a bad Friday. And here's the lap. Well, 7 a.m. Sebring, foggier than hell. The rain chance has moved till later in the day. So now we're gonna go see if we got our power steering pump fixed and our oil valve cover leak fixed, and then go weigh it. Because we were reading the grid life rules, and if I make 199 horsepower, I gotta weigh 2350, something like that, right? If I make 200 horsepower, I get a 4% modifier. So we're hoping we weigh less, or we hoping we can. Good thing is we can turn the power down, because I do not want to weigh that much. But I'm gonna hop the fence here and hopefully not kill myself. All right, so PD Pablo's working on the airbox. Cameron's here. We're trying to get some preload out of the spring because I threw these on and never even set them up. So quite a bit of turn before the spring is loose. We'll try that.
Rod,
JT? I was like, who is that? Just a little rub. Just a little rub. All right, we're all set up, ready to go for the next race. This Spa valve covers turned out to be the fucking Achilles heel of the weekend. It's leaked pretty much the whole time, but only from what? One hole. We think the casting might be porous. So we goobered it up with Honda Bond, and all that did was pop the coil out after about 4 laps. So we pit it to pull a rear spacer off the car, trying to get it to rotate better. And then a Mustang blew an engine, so we're gonna go back down here shortly. I'll post some more on board. I'll try to get my boys to get some rolling video. But the new power steering pump also was shooting the belt off, and we figured out we had to run different bolts on it. But so far, so good. So we narrowed up the rear by quite a bit, trying to get it to rotate. And we're still battling that valve cover problem, but we're wider in the front now by about 3/4 of an inch. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, ethanol E85 is probably worth about 7 miles an hour on the back straightaway, which is probably a second, but I'm also not driving it the best. But we'll try in this last session today. Well, that's a successful last race, successful day. We'll try some more changes tomorrow, but man, what a cool car. So, Sunday, we painted the fenders last night, the inner fenders, to kind of see what's rubbing. You can see we still have some rubbage. This is really killing lap time too. Got a little bit of uneven wear on the brakes, but I'm not super unhappy with that. They've actually lasted. They feel really, really good. I have way more brakes than I have credit for. So now we're gonna see, we're sprung too stiff. We know that already. So these are like 400 and something pound springs. We're gonna cut the boot off. We're gonna put a zip tie down here. And then after the next session, we'll see how far up the zip tie got, and we'll see if we're using any of the shock travel or just riding on the spring. So stay tuned. Okay. So also, the Spa valve cover I think is leaking through like a cast hole because it fills up these 2 back spark plugs, and this bitch is glued. At this point, we've glued every surface. So I don't know where else the oil's coming from, but that's gonna probably go in the trash can. We'll put a stock one on there. Pete had a fully oil-soaked coil. We had to cut the rubber boot up here that goes up here because it was pushing the coil up after 5 laps. So we did that and managed to finish the whole race, and it only leaks about that much oil out, but still it is very inconvenient. Right, that's a wrap. And they're checking the shock travel. I disobeyed my race engineer on the last race and ended up racing Carlos in that other E90 the whole race, and we finished I think like less than 200th of a second apart. He short shifted at 5,500 because that car runs about a 30, and the best I can do right now is about a 35. So it was a fun battle, but it was not what I was supposed to do. So I wasn't disciplined. I'm sure I'll hear about it from Cameron. Pete's already giving me shit about it. So we got a laundry list of stuff to get ready for the next event, which is in February. So I'll catch up with y'all later.